Good afternoon on what is a cool, grey and cloudy day. It is sunny the 31st of March and I'm in the read nook with a nice hot cup of tea and a box to our marks. So let's find out what is in here. It's fairly light, bit of a rattle to it, and I've got it upside down. Okay, so what I'm going to pull out of here is this Temple of the Beastmen. It's actually turn that around. Temple of the Beastmen, designed by Lester W. Smith. Here's the plan: fly swiftly through the mountains and locate the crown of the British High Martian potentate King Gunashtarik. Then you and a hand-picked team stealthily enter, search, and make your rescue. If you're quiet enough and quick enough, you will be out before the High Martians discover you. There is no way you could have known that the others will be here too, each looking for his own treasure. And the invasion of their domain has stirred the Beastmen into a blood frenzy. Now you wonder if you'll ever leave the Temple of the Beastmen alive. In the Temple of the Beastmen, each player controls one of 10 different adventurers, each with their own goals and special abilities, intent on rescuing slaves and treasures from the clutches of the wicked Martian king. Random map tile layout and card sequence makes the temple, its treasures, and its dangers different with every game. Stealth and strategy are essential to winning. Temple of the Beastmen can be learned in under half an hour and be played in under 2 hours. A well-developed set of optional rules allows more elaborate strategies and lets you decide on the level of complexity you want. Even solitaire play is possible. Complete rules are provided. Who knows what dangers lurk within? So, Temple of the Beastmen. This is a board game set in the world of Space 1889, the role-playing game published by Game Designers Workshop in 1989. And it was a role-playing game based upon essentially the idea that between the worlds there was this luminous ether, and Thomas Edison created an ether screw or propeller which enabled you to travel between the worlds of the inner solar system. So visiting the moon and then later on Mars, he revolutionized the world. And very quickly what happened was the imperial powers on Earth began settling and colonizing Mars, making deals with the local kingdoms, doing the same to an extent on Venus and then Mercury as well. But the main focus is on Mars, where you have aerial flyers, because there's a particular plant which you can use to actually react against the gravity and so on. So you have aerial gunboats and kites and things. And Mars is a dying world, ancient civilization. You've got canals which are slowly drying up, and you've got huge deserts. So it's kind of playing on classic ideas of what Mars would have been like if H.G. Wells had imagined it, that sort of thing. And inside what you have is this. And I actually really adore the setting for Space 1889, the original version, published by Game Designers Workshop, then the version published by Clockwork Publishing, basically the German publisher, which kind of shifted the focus away from British imperialism to Prussian imperialism, which is absolutely fantastic, gives a very different kind of tone, and the version in between, Red Sands, for Savage Worlds. So what we have is, here are the rules. Essentially a board game of 19th century Mars, and here we've got the introduction and how to set up. And I've actually been after this board game for a very long time. It's not the only board game for Space 1889. The first one was Sky Galleons of Mars, which is a big miniatures war game of aerial flyers. Here we've got the typical characters. The kind of layout you're going to be building within the Temple of the Beastmen. So very big, kind of broad kind of feel to it with the artwork and style, very clearly laid out. I mean, I'd love to see a new edition of this. I can imagine what could be done with, you know, if this went to Kickstarter, you kind of got all the miniatures and, you know, the cards and so on. Essentially options here for sort of like playing cards, holding cards, the types of cards that you'll find, item cards that you can pick up, special locations and so on. Optional rules including solitaire play, you know, and then on the back you have commonly asked questions and strategy hints. And I mean, the thing is, this is, I wouldn't say this is necessarily a family-friendly board game, but in tone it's much different to the other games that Game Designers Workshop put out. The nearest one to this perhaps is Minion Hunter, which was part of the Dark Conspiracy setting. So there we have a flyer for Space 1889, and then you've got the flyer for the miniatures that were published but produced for the game. Then you've got a separate card on how to win the game. I don't know whether they actually missed out on how to win the game in the rules. And these are the player pawns, which are a bit, they're a bit boring actually. Six-sided die, and you've got different counters here. You essentially would have to go through this game and see what's in here for the various factions, and what you. So a lot of it has been bagged, some of it hasn't. This is what I was looking for, because what I've got in here is little bags like that, and then tiles like that. That should basically all got shifted together. And so what I'll do is I'll take it all apart and organise it into different Ziploc bags, so it's neat and tidy. So, I mean, the other thing this kind of reminds me of is the board game Sorcerer's Cave, which was published in the late 70s, which I know Gibson's Games is trying to bring back. Here we've got the character cards, so we've got a Hill Martian Nomad. So essentially it says, you know, got combat ability +1, major goal, destroy the Beastmen, and so on. And then Sir Reginald Colton Haynes, gentleman in a top hat, not very good in combat, major goals, visit the temple, recover the artifact, and he can find secret doors. Slippery John Grimes. John Grimes, that's a nice nod, I think, to the science fiction character E.C. Tubb. I think I've got the name wrong, I know that, but I recognise the name. Basically good in combat, can attack with each other character count once, and if successful, take an item of their choice. Mrs. Gates, lady with a revolver, can conduct ranged combat. She's after her boy. Lieutenant Arthur, army officer with a revolver, good in combat, rescue the ambassador. Miss Lucy, lady in her travelling clothes, not good in combat, major goal, traverse the Krog. Basically, she gets victory points for each level on which she encounters at least one room, begins with no servants but finds secret doors. And then we have Major Bagley, army officer with sword. He's also after the ambassador. Captain Timmons, navy officer, not good, average in combat. Take liftwood from the shipyard. Liftwood is the wood that guarantees, you know, flight from on Mars. And lastly, we have Dr. Abervine, not so good in combat. Major goal, recover the ancient artifacts, find secret doors, and can use the artifact as a weapon and for ranged combat when he does. So also, and lastly, then we have Reverend Phillips, missionary, and combat ability not good. Major goal, speak with King Nashrik, and then and he will avoid combat. So so what you're seeing essentially is a mixture of locations. So you have rooms and corridors. I'm going to see if I can find a special room. And these are the, you also got item cards. So I'm going to see if I can find a special room. So there we go. Storage room. Or barracks. And then you've got item cards, for example, Secret Stairway Up, Stairway Down, lots of stairways, or 2 Beastmen, Trap, Boy, and you're basically trying to rescue them, and you get, so for example, if you rescue him, you're going to get victory points. 3 slaves, you're going to try to get those out. Weapons, scattergun, and then eerie mist arises. So this definitely needs to sort through, but I'm really glad that I've managed to get hold of a copy of this. It's been on my wants list for a very long time, and I've just never seen a copy. Be interesting to give it a proper review in due course. So, at last, that is Temple of the Beastmen. Published by Game Designers Workshop. I look forward to giving this a good review. I'm really fascinated to see whether it has been worth the wait. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get to more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me with a box in this, typically containing a book or game or role-playing game or supplement, in this case a board game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook, and we'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.